You, on the mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King, the partnership guru, daily at 1 p.m. on WJFN 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and 8:20 a.m. as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike at 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the leading daily social business enterprise show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here. So, I'm your host, Mike King. As I said, I appreciate you being here with me. The views expressed here are mine, have no connection to, support of, or agreement with any other host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. I just appreciate that my program airs here on a daily basis to come to you. Join me as this cutting-edge show uplifts the community and showcases RVA in a different way. The sounds you're listening to are emanating from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. Joining us today, as always, is the super producer, the man on the wheels of steel, Al Green, and we can be reached by calling 804-778-8888. On the Mic with Mike highlights partnerships, people, social enterprise business organizations, and issues of the day. We'd like to thank our show sponsor, Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. If you have credit card merchant services, Tom Childrey is the guy who can handle it for you. He's been doing it more than 25 years. He knows how to make it work. Give Tom a call at 804-503-8472. He also does a lot of work in the community. Along the way, we have to pay some bills. The microphone isn't free, plus my grandkids do need stuff. So, take a listen to what they offer. They offer some great services and products. So please take a listen to them. They do a lot of great things in the community as well. Today's show, folks, we got the best show in RVA. We're here on WJFN Radio 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. It is a place where the game changers meet. Today, what can I say? The program is outstanding. We have okay, let me just go down here and give it to you straight. We got BK Fulton's in the house, the man from Soul Vision magazine. He is a media conglomerate. We're going to talk about that, but also his commitment to the community and what he gives back and his vision as far as media and how to make it work. We got Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. He's going to be in here with this tenacious top-of-mind topic. We're going to follow that off with Trina Clemans from Collegiate School. There's a program for high school students. She's here to talk about that. And then we're going to finish it up with Grinnage VP GM of NBC12. But first, we're going to kick it off with BK. BK, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, brother.
Okay, so now you're a media magnet. Talk a little bit about the products that you have, how you got to that point, and then we'll talk about the message in the media.
Okay. Well, sure. Soulidify Productions is a full-scale film production, TV, and book publishing company. We've got 8 films now. We're the first independent in the history of cinema to do 4 feature films in our first year. Our first film had John Cusack, Taye Diggs, George Lopez, and Luke Hemsworth, and premiered in theaters.
So we might have heard a name or two. I'm not sure if I'd ever heard of any of those people. So how do you jump out? How do you progress to that point? And what was the vision there to become a filmmaker?
Well, so I used to run a little company called Verizon.
Yes.
And I spent my first 50 years doing what I was trained to do, and was determined to spend my next 50 years doing what God made me to do.
There you go. See, I read your stuff.
You read the stuff. You did. I like that. I'm not surprised.
Okay.
And so for me, it was about giving back. And I wanted to use media to deliver a message. Media, whether it's radio, TV, cinema, is among the most powerful tools that human beings have to convey messages. And so when I thought about what I wanted my legacy to be, I realized that I could leave a digital legacy of cinema that did uplift. Too often when women and minorities get to tell their stories, it's from this prism of sorrows. So we got slave films, domestic violence films, Pookie got shot films. I'm tired of Pookie getting shot. I want to give Pookie a break. And I want to tell people about the stories of uplift, the stories of triumph, the stories where we win, the stories where we collaborate to a higher end, because those stories give the blueprint to young people to step in when we leave. It happened for me. I was an engineering student at Virginia Tech, wasn't doing so well, was flunking out just to make it plain, went to the library to plan my escape from Virginia Tech, and I believe it was divine. I believe God put me in the E185.5 section, and that's the section of the Dewey Decimal System where it has the history of black people. And I started reading about Lewis Latimer and inventing the carbon filament for the light bulb to burn. I read about Granville T. Woods and inventing the third rail and selling it to General Electric, the patent, in 1901. And I said, wait a minute, I can do well here. And I went literally from the probations list to the dean's list to the board of directors at Virginia Tech. And so just to put a period on it, so I figured if reading about the accomplishments of our ancestors could help me to go from the probations list to the board, then if I could put it on cinema and put great actors with it and great music and great scripts, then I could do that for the multitudes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to BK Fulton of Soulidify Productions. Can you talk a little bit about how you go from being the Verizon, so a person would say corporate guy, to having a vision and making that happen, to go out on your own and establishing an empire?
Sure. I mean, our people have always been creative.
We know how to hustle.
You know how to hustle. So,
Yes.
Frederick Douglass had a paper. Ida B. Wells was one of the very first investigative journalists, had a paper. We know the pioneers in Motown and radio. And so we've always used the tools of our times. The tools help to convey the messages in the civil rights movement even. When people saw those folk in their Sunday best being attacked with water hoses and attacked with dogs, they said, wait a minute, there's something not right here. When we saw the recent murder of George Floyd, something not right here. And it triggered the largest protest in the history of our country, over 23 million people. And so you say, okay, I have these powerful tools. I was in a place where I used technology at Verizon as the head guy. And so for me, it wasn't a big leap to say, well, what are the other assets in my quiver? Media, cinema. We're in a celebrity culture. So how do I take the power of celebrity to get young people to do something different? Right now, I feel like there's too much popularized foolishness, and we need to shift that narrative into something that will give people more hope.
When you look at, so you're sort of a Renaissance man. You are. So when you talk about, you gave us the history of minority and women, but you go across the board and you collaborate with the person, and you wrote a book, The Tale of the Tea. You went from not knowing a person to being very comfortable over something that had happened in our life. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. The Tale of the Tea is my latest book. We published it on the anniversary of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. So on August 6th of this year, we published the book. Jonathan Blank was my co-author on it. We were all disturbed by a lot of what we saw going on out in the streets. There was a lot of protests, a lot of people hurt and angry. And so we were trying to figure out how can we use writing and art to heal. And so my wife had cleaned off a sign and it made the paper. And Jonathan is one of our law partners at McGuire Woods. And he said, hey, I'm proud to have you as a law partner. And she was like, if you're proud of me, you should see what my husband's doing.
You should see what my husband's doing.
Exactly. And so she sent him one of the movies that we had just released that was called The Most Important Film, released that month, One Angry Black Man. And he watched it. He sent me some kudos. We started an exchange in June. And by August, we had a book that was in the top 25 on Amazon.
How does a person make their dreams come true? A lot of people have some great dreams. My father used to always, I'm from Philadelphia, so we're not a city that really wins a lot of sporting championships. So he used to say a lot of great dynasties won one in a row. You know, just one.
Just one.
So how do you have the idea of making something happen and really taking the steps to make it happen?
Sure. So you gotta come up out that dream. You gotta wake up and go to work. God blesses all of us to turn our dreams and ideas into their tangible equivalents.
I was waiting for you to drop that.
You have to have the faith, be willing to do the work, and expect the outcomes. The other thing is you have to be humble, and you have to know what you're good at, and then bring in people that can help you. So it's called show business. I was a businessman for a large part of my career, so I knew that part. And the show part, I needed to bring in people who had gravitas in the show. So I brought in Monty Ross, who helped Spike Lee to form 40 Acres and a Mule and did his first 9 films with Spike.
Let me ask you this right there. How do you talk him in? He's had that level of gravitas. How do you talk him into paying attention to you?
So it's relationships, right? Relationships are critically important. I knew a cat that I went to high school with. He heard that I was making films. He said, "Do you know Monty Ross?" I was like, "Well, actually, I need to talk with somebody like that because I want to go to a whole nother level." And so he's like, "Well, he happens to be teaching at ODU in Hampton. Let's have dinner." And so we arranged the dinner. I told him what the vision was. He came on. We also recruited a brother out of Brooklyn, New York, who understudied under Joel Schumacher and Martin Scorsese. So Q is like my right-hand man. Q came and relocated. So they all live in Richmond now. We took a kid from VCU, Nick. He told me, young brother, he said, "I really want to write." He was an honor student. He wasn't getting the kind of jobs he wanted that really respected his talent or his craft. I was like, "All right, I'll take a chance on you. You want to write? I want to start a magazine. I'm going to put some money into you, and you're going to help me to write these articles. You'll be the co-founding editor. I'll be the co-founding editor." And so now, 2 years later, I mean, our issue next month will have Jeffrey Wright on the cover, the Jeffrey Wright.
Okay. So as a business owner, what's the biggest, when a person talks about exposure, you seem to be very good at exposure, and we've had this conversation. How do you generate exposure so people see what you're doing?
Well, I think, that point I made earlier was not just to sound witty, the idea of using the tools of your time. So doing interviews like this and being open to it, making sure that you use the social media, you plug into the young people, you are authentic so that because people can tell when you're saying something that ain't real. And that'll be the quickest turn off, and they'll shut you out. We're in this little bit of cancel culture, I guess they call it. And so what we do is when we, even in our magazine, for example, we had the founder of Netflix, we had Vivica Fox, Deborah Martin Chase, who did Harriet. And what we did was we said, we don't want to write about you just to sing your praises. What we want to do is tell that young kid who thinks they're on the wrong side of the tracks how they can do what you did. We want to demystify your success. And so people got that authenticity, that authentic response, those authentic writings. They saw us as a genuine publication that cared about the community. Then we launched our TV network, soulvision.tv, and deliberately, we launched it on Valentine's Day because we wanted it to be a gift. And now we have over 400 hours. We've got the most programming of any minority-owned over-the-top TV network right here in Richmond, Virginia.
Which people would be shocked at.
Yeah.
So from the business structure, you sit over these different entities. How much of a, part do you play in each of them? I see a picture in a number of the things.
I'm close to all of it. I mean, I'm a person that can go from 30,000 feet to granular level on the sand. And so we get a good team, and I trust them to do their work. But I come in to help them because I have a lot more experience than they do. And in addition to an engineering background, I have a Master of Science degree from Harvard and the New School, and a Juris Doctorate in Intellectual Property, Telecommunications, and Electronic Commerce. And so I know how to do a lot of things. And right now in this early part of the business, it requires a lot of things. But the cool thing about that, if you know your history, historically, we have been many things. I mean, the guy who's on the cover of my book, The Tale of the Tea, Dr. George Grant, not only invented the golf tee in 1899, he was also the first black professor at Harvard and also a dentist.
Ladies and gentlemen, see, this is what On the Mic with Mike brings you. Game changers like this right here. You could go other places and hear whatever. You're not going to get that, so that's why you tune in here 1 to 3 p.m. Today we have BK Fulton here dropping nuggets of knowledge on business, industry, and everything in between. Talk a little bit about the culture, the business culture of Richmond and how you see it.
You know what's interesting? I mean, we're starting to get a little love from Richmond. We were recently featured in Richmond Magazine. Occasionally something will pop up in the papers. But what was interesting was we dropped this really important film, getting rave reviews all around the world, and crickets from my hometown. And I think people were get used to seeing you a certain way, and so they saw me as the guy who ran the phone company, and not this guy who was doing something serious in media. And so, but over time, people warm up to it. And when I talked to the team about it, I told them, don't despair. I told them, look, we're not doing this for the attention. We're not doing this for the media. We the pace car, and they just got to catch up. And when they catch up, hopefully we'll still have some time for what they're talking about. But we are moving. We're about to launch something internationally that's going to change the whole way people go to the movies and buy their digital media. Especially as soon as the movies open back up, we'll be the first company to launch an app that allows people to attend any movie, IMAX, theater, pay for any of their digital streaming services for just watching the ad. Nobody's done it before.
As I say to people when they're here, what gives you hope these days?
What gives me hope is the young people standing up for their rights. I was concerned that we had handed young people the civil rights, but not the struggle. And so they might not have had the grist that's required to fight for what is right. And then when I saw the young people out in the streets, when I saw them, going out again day after day after day and holding lines on their values, it told me that the future is going to be bright. It gave me hope. When I saw people in line 5 hours to vote, that gave me hope. When I saw this one older lady, 93 years old, named Mildred, she drove 300 miles each way to vote.
That's when you know you want to vote.
That's just like hope. When I hear people say they never voted before, saying they voted now. And so it gives me hope. Because at the end of the day, at some point, you have to get to a place in your life where you are doing something not for yourself, but for future generations. I always tell people, what is the world we want to hand to our children? I want to build pools that I never swim in. And that is the work that we have to be about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank BK for coming in here and giving us this information. It's been truly an honor. How can people find you once again?
You can check us out and find all the companies on www.soulidify, soulidify.com, soulidify.com.
All right, we'd like to thank you for coming in. Time is 1:25. The program is On the Mic with Mike. We'll be back on the other side with Tom Childrey with the top of mind, tenacious top of mind topic. After that, we're gonna keep the party going. Appreciate it. Thanks. Now, take care.
Hi, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi everyone, it's Pavi Leitner, the CEO and founder of Finlit and your family's certified financial educator, dedicated to the financial success of you and your family. Are you not sure where to start with your finances? Or are you looking to sign your middle schooler up for our virtual camp? Book us at www.finlit.com www.finlitva.com. That is www.finlitva.com. Finlit is creating a money-conscious community.
Chris Ship here with Focus Floors, and we are offering a free upgrade in any Bona water-based poly for any job that gets put on our schedule. You can reach us at focushardwoodflooring.com or just check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, Focus Floors 804, Instagram 80floors. Thank you.
Mike King here, host of On the Mic with Mike.
And I'm Paula, the host of Modern Love.
You can find us together 1:30 on Fridays as
We talk about all things love. We talk about how modern matchmaking works. We talk about getting into a healthy, real relationship.
Stop swiping left and right and learn how to find love in all the right places. Paula Pardell, Modern Love Friday, exclusively on the Mic with Mike, and only heard here on WJFN 92.7 and 100.5 FM.
Hi, my name is Catrice Roots, CEO of Catrice Roots Productions. Are you looking for a videographer to film advertisements for your business, weddings, special events, and many other activities? Then I am the person you want to contact. Contact me by my email at catriceRootsProductions@gmail.com. Also visit my website at catriceRootsProductions.com. Also feel free to follow me on Instagram at Catrice Roots.
Does your home need a makeover? If so, refresh with quality with LA Labor and Painting, LLC. They make your home sparkle and be the envy of the community. They are masters at interior and exterior painting, drywall. They clean decks. They landscape and remove items you wish were gone. The bottom line is, they refresh with quality, provide professional service, and follow all guidelines regarding COVID-19. Call today to make your home sparkle. You can reach LA Labor by calling 804-972-8014. Call today for the On the Mic with Mike discount. When you mention the program, you'll receive 20% off of the beautification of your most prized possession. Call LA Labor and Painting today at 804-972-8014.
The all-new WJFN has Virginia's biggest footprint. So what's that really mean? It means you get more On the Mic with Mike everywhere you go. Because now Virginia's premier business program, On the Mic with Mike, is 2 hours of action-packed business and social enterprise information.
So join me as this cutting-edge show uplifts the community and showcases RVA in a different way.
On the Mic with Mike King Biz RVA, weekdays at 1 on WJFN.
There's a news star in Virginia, thevirginiastar.com. Finally, there's a newspaper in Virginia that delivers the unfiltered truth on politics and information you need to know.
I love it. It's about time.
Man, it's great. I read it every morning.
Thevirginiastar.com. Unbiased. No slant, just facts. Thevirginiastar.com. It's not the mainstream media, it's the truth stream media. So if you're tired of fake news, get real news now. Thevirginiastar.com.
Attention, Virginia Patriots. Do you want to help save America this November? Join our team. American Majority Action is a national conservative organization that mobilizes citizens to get involved in the political process. We are looking for patriots to join our paid team of door-to-door and phone canvassers now through November 3rd. Save Virginia, save America. It's now or never. Email us at winvirginia2020@gmail.com or text to 571-439-2327.
Happy Tuesday, I'm Kiara Johnson with your WJFN 100.5 FM weather report brought to you by Dominion Energy. Richmond, areas of patchy fog or early some clouds this morning will give way to generally sunny skies for the afternoon, high 78. For your evening, partly cloudy skies early will give way to cloudy skies late, areas of patchy fog developing, low around 60. Charlottesville, areas of patchy fog early, some clouds this morning will give way to generally sunny skies for the afternoon, high 78. For your tonight, partly cloudy skies, low near 50. Fredericksburg, areas of patchy fog early, partly cloudy skies in your afternoon, high 77. For your tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 56. This has been your weather report. Please visit DominionEnergy.com.
Folks, this is the most important election of our time. America itself is on the ballot. The police are on the ballot as radicals push to defund law enforcement while doing nothing to deter the looting and violence tearing apart our nation's cities. The fact is, our safety is on the ballot too, and our way of life. That's why I'm urging you to join an effort sponsored by the Job Creators Network. They're working with the biggest conservative host in America, like me. This election is about one thing: turnout. The left has their get out the vote machine now. We need ours. That's why the single most important thing you can do to save our country is go to keepamericaamerica.com. That's keepamericaamerica.com and become a volunteer in the biggest get out the vote effort in history. You'll be given tasks that can make a difference in November. Do a little, do a lot, but please do your part. Go to keepamericaamerica.com now. That's keepamericaamerica.com.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I'm Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. There are primarily 4 ways to fund your business. One way is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding raises funds from many people. Crowdfunders aren't technically investors because they don't receive a shared ownership in the business. Crowdfunding is popular because it's a very low risk for business owners. Crowdfunding platforms are different. Read the fine print and understand all the obligations. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Does your home need a makeover? If so, refresh with quality with LA Labor and Painting, LLC. They make your home sparkle and be the envy of the community. They are masters at interior and exterior painting, drywall. They clean decks. They landscape and remove items you wish were gone. The bottom line is, they refresh with quality, provide professional service, and follow all guidelines regarding COVID-19. Call today to make your home sparkle. You can reach LA Labor by calling 804-972-8014. Call today for the On the Mic with Mike discount. When you mention the program, you'll receive 20% off of the beautification of your most prized possession. Call LA Labor and Painting today at 804-972-8014.
Thank you, attorneys Justin Lauder and Chris Gatewood at Threshold Counsel PC for sponsoring this program. They offer startup, business, and intellectual property services for innovative and growing organizations. You can find them online at threshold.cc.
Mike with Mike from Michael Mikes. From the Michael Mikes. Michael Mikes. My name is Isabella and you're listening to My King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
Welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier daily social business enterprise show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King. I'd like to thank BK Fulton for coming in. We're here 1 to 3 daily now. We've grown up, folks. We used to be 1 to 2. Now we're here 1 to 3 every day. WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, you can give us a call. Give Al Green a call. The number is 804-778-8888. But right now, it is the man who's, you're always hearing his name as the sponsor of the show. Tom Childrey, the credit card guy, is here with his tenacious top-of-mind topic. Tom Childrey, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mike. It's always a pleasure to be on the
Alrighty,
show.
now, you always come with some good stuff. What you got for our business owners today?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to share. It's really been a blessing to share some information. And for our business owners, one of the things that they always do, and as consumers we all use, is a credit card. People come in, they want to buy something, they throw it down, and they're going to pay with plastic. And what happens is the business owner pays a fee to do that. And there are now some programs that can eliminate or greatly reduce those fees that the business owners pay.
Okay, so business owners who are out there, we got to back it up for a moment. And before we came on air, Tom told us there are a couple different types of business owners. Tom, let us know the 2 types of business owners who are out there.
Okay. So just to kind of preface it, I talk to around 100 different business owners every week. And one of the main things we're seeing is there's basically two types of people. The first type is the deer in the headlights. The pandemic devastated them. They put their game face on, but they are just frozen. They don't know exactly what to do, and so they do nothing. Then you have the other that's kind of the manic depressive. One day they're going 1,000 miles an hour with their hair on fire, oh, I'm going to beat this, I'm going to beat this. And then they run into a little pebble that stubs their toe, and now they're depressed. In other words, they're kind of letting that, bad 5 or 10 minutes turn the whole day bad instead of just saying, turn it around. And it breaks my heart to see that, because a lot of these businesses 6-7 months ago, were coming off of the holiday season last year and had their best holiday season in years. And now all of a sudden this hit, nobody saw it coming. If they did, they weren't telling us. And, it just devastated them. So as a business advocate, I go out and talk to these businesses and try to come up with a strategy that will help them and make favorable introductions to different types of business services that may be able to help them.
And you have a program that you're here to talk about today.
Yeah. So we have a proprietary program with our company, Get Beyond. Our website is getbeyond.com. And we have a proprietary program that we're making available in the greater Richmond area to help service businesses to eliminate, one of the things is the per item fees, the percentage fees, and other junk fees related to credit card processing. So that money stays in the business owner's cash drawer. And just as an example, Mike, we worked with a painting contractor, and their business grew in the pandemic even because people were home and they realized how ratty their house was and they needed a fresh coat of paint. But their business grew and they were paying so much in fees. We were able to introduce this proprietary program, and it was able to save them $4,000 a year. So that $4,000 allowed them to some of their best, longest tenured workers to offer them some benefits, medical insurance, different things like that. So as a business advocate, we can save money and everybody wants to do that. But when you save that money, what does that mean to your business? We want to sit down and have that conversation. Yeah, we're going to save you some money, hopefully, but what are you going to do with that? If you had an extra $4,000, how would you make that work? Smart business owner may say, well, I'm going to advertise on Mike on the Mic.
There we go. Thanks for the shameless plug. Appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Childrey here. He is a master at the merchant services business aspect of the game. If you'd like to call him, talk to him about what you have going on and some ideas that you may have, give us a call, 804-778-8888. That's 804-778-8888. So, Tom, you're out there talking to a bunch of business owners. What's the temperature out on the streets these days?
I would say probably 60% of the businesses are pretending masks work. They're ready to be done with that and kind of move on and get back to normal doing business. The other 40% are afraid that the state's going to shut them down if they don't do the masks, so they're doing that. And most, I would say probably 90% of people just want to move forward.
What about the industries are kind of doing well now, and which industries do you see are still struggling?
The industries that are doing well, I call it contractors that make house calls. So all of those people, the people that do flooring, carpet, paint, vinyl siding, do decks, HVAC contractors, electric, plumbing, the staycation's a real popular thing now where they put a fire pit in your backyard. So all of those things, those businesses are taking off, and they're actually, one of their challenges is to find workers to keep up with all the work. So there's some jobs out there, and then some of the restaurants took a big hit, and a lot of the servers that were displaced from the restaurants realized they could make as much, if not more money, working for a painting contractor or someone else and have nights and weekends off. So there's starting to be a little bit of a transition. So those businesses are doing good. The businesses that are equipped with curbside pickup, the quick service restaurants, your pizza places like that, those are doing really well now for the most part. And some of the fancier sit-down restaurants are starting to claw back, but a lot of them were eliminated.
What did the pandemic do to when you see signs that say no cash or exact change, and everyone sort of went to using a card? What did that do to the fees for the business owners?
Well, you would think that the fees would go down, but actually Visa, MasterCard, and the banks actually profit from the use of that card. Well, they raised the rates. So fees go up normally every April and every October. So there's a pandemic, some of the rates still went up. I think with the shortage of change, one of the reasons for that, it's not scientific, but I think that there's so little change now because everybody's been throwing it in a wishing well, hoping 2020 will be over.
That's for sure. If we got some quarters, we can start throwing it in there because we need this to be over. The time is 1:43. We're here with Tom Childrey, the tenacious top of mind topic. What other hot topics you got to talk to our good listeners about today?
There's going to be
a reckoning.
Well,
no,
not so much that. I think that there's going to be an opportunity that's going to come from this. Okay, every adversity, an opportunity comes from, and we just, it's like if you look for the bad, you'll find it. If you look for the good, you'll find it. I think if we start to look at the good, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to grow their businesses and not just always be an employee. There's more entrepreneurial opportunities coming because that's how the tax code is set up. And people will grow. People want to buy local, and support local businesses. And local businesses are starting up. We're seeing a lot of startups. A lot of people are trying to, also sell things online in addition to in their retail stores. And I think you probably have saw the big retailers from like when we were kids, that French store, J.C. Penney.
Yes, that very fine location.
Yeah, and Sears and all those stores, they just the internet's not going to take off, and the internet crushed them. Where if they would have had a huge internet presence, maybe earlier, maybe it could have saved them. But the buying experience has changed. People want to be able to see it online. Yeah, pick it up at the store. And, they don't need a 40,000 square foot store anymore.
So you're out putting a lot of miles on the auto, going and doing business, big cities, small towns. What's the mood in the small towns from the business standpoint? What are the business owners in rural areas saying? How's that being conducted as opposed to, we're sitting here in Richmond, so we really don't see that much of what's going out. You're out and about all the time. Talk a little bit about a rural Richmond. What's happening?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So if you think about it, all of us, our buying circle is maybe 3 to 5 miles from our house. If we're going to order a pizza, it's going to be close by.
Okay.
If we're going to go to the dry cleaners, it's going to be nearby. I live in Shore Pump. I'm not going to drive to Petersburg to get a pizza.
Okay.
It's just not going to happen. So that same buy local in the small rural areas, those folks know each other and they feel more comfortable, and they're continuing to try to do business and support each other. So they see the uptick in business is going to start taking off. It's like with the hair salons, they all had to be closed for a while. But if your friend owned a hair salon and, she told you, well, I'm going to be there, and I got a new pair of scissors. If you want to see how they cut paper, come on by. They're not open for business, but if she happens to test it on what hair I have left, God bless her.
So it's still all about relationships that are out there.
It is. It's always going to be about relationships, And I think it's kind of funny, you know, when you look at how many people have followers or friends on social media, and you wouldn't know those people if you ran into them at Kroger.
For sure.
So, you know, I think when it first came out, it was like, oh, you know, I'm like a stamp collector. Let me see how many I can get. You know, and most people probably hadn't had 5 real friends their whole life.
That's true, but they have a couple thousand Facebook friends.
Yeah.
They were a friend of a friend of a friend, and they really aren't a friend. They're not even an acquaintance.
Right. And sometimes, you know, in a small town, everybody gets to know each other. Like I do a lot of work in Emporia. And, you know, great little small town, but all those business owners now, they all grew up and went to high school with all the other people. You know, they're in their late 30s, and they knew all those people. You know, oh, yeah, I remember when you were a screw-up. I remember, you know, you were going to be the most successful person. So they still have that relationship, but sometimes people will take advice from somebody on Facebook or accept a criticism from somebody that they would never think to go to that person for advice.
That's true. Give our listeners, as business owners, 2 or 3 tips to save themselves in the war on the credit card fees.
Okay. The first thing to do is have a
call Tom Childrey.
Yeah. Well, if you don't call me, call someone and have a complete audit done. Are you paying what your contract actually says you should be paying, or are there hidden fees that keep getting added in there because you're just worried about the bottom line? The other thing is to have a strategy where you're not locked in to a long-term contract. Make either my company, the way we do it, or anybody else, make them earn your business every day. They don't need to lock you into a 3-year contract because their incentive to give you any kind of good service is gone. And the last thing is, think about your customer's experience. How are they looking to pay now? The whole checkout process has changed with COVID. People don't want to hand their credit card off, just like with the tradespeople. You know, the painter gets done painting the house. He does, you know, the homeowner doesn't want to give that guy his card, run out to the truck, who knows what he's doing with it, and come back, and maybe a couple days later he'll get a receipt in the mail. They want to know that I can stick my card in or tap it without ever letting it leave my hand and get my receipt immediately by text or cell phone. So think about how your customer wants to experience the checkout process. So the last thing they remember is not a bad payment experience, but the great quality of the service or product that you provided them.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to show sponsor Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. The time is 1:50. We'll be back in just a moment.
Before and after the salon has been active in the Richmond, Virginia community, providing hairstyling services for over 10 years. Before and After is located in downtown Richmond at 1917 West Carey Street. Specializing in weaves, extensions, and growing healthy hair, Before and After provides a full suite of hair care services. Expert stylists Michelle Smith and Alicia Clark are well trained to meet your styling needs at Before and After the salon.
Are you tired of dating online? Bloom Matchmaking offers a safe and effective alternative. Every match is vetted and background checked. Bloom Matchmaking offers a personalized experience just for you. Check us out at bloommatchmaking.com or give us a call at 804-205-5063. Let Bloom take the stress out of dating. Mention On the Mic with Mike and receive 20% off. That number again is 804-205-5063. Bloom Matchmaking, where love grows.
Hi, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi, my name is Catrice Roots, CEO of Catrice Roots Productions. Are you looking for a videographer to film advertisements for your business, weddings, special events, and many other activities? Then I am the person you want to contact. Contact me by my email at catriceRootsProductions@gmail.com. Also visit my website at catriceRootsProductions.com. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Catrice Roots.
Are you experiencing difficulties with paying your mortgage or bringing your mortgage current? If so, we can help. Give Neighborhood Home and Assistance a call at 1-800-441-6872 or text 757-951-3048 for the immediate response. We have over 10 years of mortgage experience working with some of the largest mortgage corporations in America. For more information, visit neighborhoodhomeassistance.com to schedule your free over-the-phone consultation. Remember, time is one thing we can't get back, and your home is your investment. Act fast.
Chris Ship here with Focus Floors, and we are offering a free upgrade in any Bono water-based poly for any job that gets put on our schedule. You can reach us at focushardwoodflooring.com or just check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, Focus Floors 804, Instagram 80 Floors. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roby Martin with CBS 6 Eat It, Virginia, and I was just on the mic with Mike, which is AM 820 and FM 92.7. Me, Mike, Marcy, talking about all things Richmond. Tune in, man, tune in!
Welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier daily social enterprise business show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King. We're here daily with you from 1 to 3 p.m. on WJFN Radio 100.5, 92.7 FM, 820 AM. And we're also on Facebook Live at On the Mic with Mike. We're here with the show sponsor today, Tom Childrey, the credit card guy, giving you insight on how to save a buck or two or make the process, I guess, easier with the credit card and merchant processing. Tom, so now you just given us some information on ways to, ways to make the process better. Talk a little bit. We just talked a little bit about when we would see the signs that say we don't take credit card purchases for less than $5. Explain to the end user what that really meant.
Sure. So most of us as the end user, we just look at, well, we're going to pay interest on this credit card we're using. Or if it's a debit card, I hope I have money in my checking account to cover this. What we don't realize is that every place we use that card, they have to pay a fee in order for us to pay that, have the convenience of using that card. Where if you think about it, I mean, actually, if I want the convenience of using my credit card, I should pay the fee. But the way they set it up is, well, now the restaurant pays the fee. So you would see restaurants, you know, and Mike's dating us. I'm not near as old as him.
Well, thank you, appreciate it. I'm more seasoned.
Yeah,
that's
but we would see signs everywhere, you know, $10 minimum on credit cards and all that. Because of there's a per item fee, 10, 20 cents, plus the discount rate, you know, could be 2% or more. Against that product, somebody comes in, buys a $1.95 soda, you know, that poor restaurant or that poor convenience store, they almost would have been better off just giving you the Coke and say, you know, come back and spend something more later, because they're going to lose money on that because they got cost of the product. You know, the soda that they're selling wasn't free. So, you know, now there's ways to streamline that process to make sure that it's, you know, better for the consumer and better for the business because we're all in this together. People want a product and somebody wants to sell that product. Willing buyer, willing seller.
How can people find you? And give people a little bit more information about Beyond.
Okay. Thank you. So, again, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. Just like when we were kids and people nicknamed you something.
You became that guy.
I became that guy, so I just ran with it. And 3 years ago, I merged my company with Get Beyond. And Get Beyond is an employee-owned, charity-based company. And what that means is every employee, from our receptionist to our CEO and everybody in between, is a stockholder owner in the company. So we all have a vested interest in treating people the right way. Okay. And then the charity-based piece is we give a portion of our corporate profit to our designated nonprofit, which is called Give Something Back. And what Give Something Back does, Mike, is we create full 4-year scholarships for children that, through no fault of their own, ended up in the foster care system. And the nonprofit identifies the boy or girl in the 8th or 9th grade and gives them a series of mentors so they can develop the skill set and the maturity, one, to graduate from high school, and two, if they qualify, then they get a full 4-year ride to a major university. And we're trying to bring that to Virginia. We're in 11 other states. Of course, I was born here, spent some time in other states, but I want to bring that to one of the local colleges here in Virginia to pass that on, because what a lot of people don't know, and I'll be not ashamed to admit I didn't know either, that only 3% of kids that go through foster care even go to college.
Wow.
When they turn 18, the money and the love stop.
That's what they call getting aged out.
You get aged out, you get a piece of paper, and good luck. So 50% end up homeless. Drugs and alcohol is just a natural segue to make the pain go away. You're not in foster care, or you don't have an incarcerated parent without a scar or two from that. So what Give Something Back does is it tries to help those children develop into productive adults, and we have a 97% graduation rate for those that we've given the scholarships to.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, now, when I talk about Tom Childrey and the things he's doing in the community, when I read it at the beginning of the program, this is what I'm talking about. Tom, how can people find you really quickly?
Real quick, my direct number is 804-503-VISA, which is 804-503-8472. Again, 503-8472. Our website is GetBeyond, GetBeyond.com.
You said it's Visa?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I got skills, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the man said he got skills. That got my attention. It's like the number, and it's Visa, and you're the credit card guy.
Go figure.
Go figure. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Childrey, the credit card guy, the sponsor of the program. I'd like to thank him for coming in. He'll be back in a couple of weeks with another tenacious top-of-mind topic. We will talk to you on the other side. And we got some great guests here for you. Trina Clemans is coming up next.
WJFN Richland, WJFN Chester, 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and AM 820.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump is crying foul over this week's debate against Democrat Joe Biden. Here's White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
The president will participate in Thursday's debate, but he complains that it will be very unfair. Returning from a campaign trip in the West, he told reporters aboard Air Force One that it's very unfair that, again, we have an anchor who is totally biased. He was referring to NBC's Kristen Welker, who will moderate the debate in Nashville. Mr. Trump has previously criticized Chris Wallace of Fox News, who moderated the first debate. Greg Clugston at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland.
The president told the host of Fox and Friends this morning the Presidential Debate Commission is biased against him.
Well, I think the whole thing is crazy. This commission, I had problems with them 4 years ago where they stifled out my mic during my conversation with Crooked Hillary. And, they muted my mic. They did a whole thing. They did this to me already.
Meanwhile, Americans have lost trust in the people and institutions informing them about COVID-19. That's according to a poll from the Associated Press, NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. and to USA Facts. And we get more details from national correspondent Mike Hempen.
The poll shows that since April, people have been losing trust in the information they receive from state and local governments, the news media, social media, and their family and friends. Just 16% say they trust coronavirus information from President Trump a great deal or quite a bit. And 64% now say they trust Trump only a little or not at all on COVID-19. Only social media is less trusted. The Family Doctor now ranks highest when it comes to the source Americans trust the most for information about the virus. I'm Mike Hempen.
On Wall Street, the major index is doing well right now. The Dow is up almost 300 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're in HR, you're probably wearing a lot of hats. Recruiter, team builder, trainer, mediator, policymaker, and of course, paper pusher. But not anymore. Bamboo HR is the #1 HR software for small and medium businesses. It manages all your employee data easily and automates countless tasks, so you can focus on people, not paperwork. Bamboo HR frees you from spreadsheets, so you can do your real job, creating a great place to work. If the data shuffle and paperwork mountain have you ready to hang up all your hats, you're ready for Bamboo. If you handle HR records and paperwork, Bamboo HR is a dream. Let us free up your time and put your days of pushing paperwork behind you, so you can focus on the people and making your company a great place to work for everyone. Try PC Magazine's top pick for HR software free today. Just go to bamboohr.com/HR. This is a limited offer, only available to radio listeners at bamboohr.com/HR. That's bamboohr.com/HR.
The family of senior Palestinian official Saeb Erekat says he remains in critical but stable condition in an Israeli hospital after being infected with the coronavirus. International correspondent Charles De La Desma has more.
Erekat's family has told the official Palestinian news agency WAFA that he's receiving artificial respiration in an intensive care unit at Israel's Hadassah Medical Center. The hospital says Erekat's case is challenging as he suffers from a weak immune system and a bacterial infection in addition to COVID-19. Erekat has been one of the Palestinians' most recognizable faces over the past several decades, serving as a senior negotiator in talks with Israel. He's also a senior advisor to late Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat and current President Mahmoud Abbas. I'm Charles De La Desma.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A fear jump in coronavirus hospitalizations, in California has not transpired, but Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom says he's not going to change what he calls his slow and stubborn approach to reopening the state's economy. In a video briefing, he said vaccines for the coronavirus will not be distributed in the nation's most populous state until its own experts give the thumbs up.
Question I often get is, are you going to take someone's word for it as it relates to vaccines? Of course, we don't take anyone's word for it. We will do our own independently reviewed process with our world-class experts.
Last month, the Newsom administration warned of a possible 89% increase in hospitalizations by the end of October. That never transpired. The National Tsunami Warning Center has lifted a tsunami advisory after an earthquake that took place off the coast of Alaska on Monday. You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com.
The all-new WJFN has Virginia's biggest footprint. So what's that really mean? It means you get more on the mic with Mike everywhere you go. Because now Virginia's premier business program, On the Mic with Mike, is 2 hours of action-packed business and social enterprise information.
So join me as this cutting-edge show uplifts the community and showcases RVA in a different way.
On the Mic with Mike King Biz RVA. Weekdays at 1 on WJFN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the second hour So we're the program that brings you the game changers. I'd like to thank Tom Childrey for coming in, BK Fulton earlier. We're here with you daily from 1 to 3, WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. Your host, Mike King, and just like to thank you for tuning in. But next up on the microphone, we have Trina Clemans, and you are the Director of Economic Literacy and Entrepreneurship at the Collegiate School. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. So could move just a little closer for us? Okay. So now, but tell us a little bit about what you do. But we're here because what caught my attention was the program, the Cochrane Summer Economic Institute. Talk a little bit about the role at Collegiate and how it ties into that program.
Okay. So at Collegiate, we have a program, an institute called the Powell Institute for Responsible Citizenship. And that's an initiative that runs through JK all the way up to our 12th grade school. So we work in partnership with teachers and businesses and students, parents, alumni to bring all kinds of programming to our students and to the community.
So in essence, you're training and teaching your students to be better
Yes.
citizens, people along those lines.
Correct.
Okay, I'm new to Richmond. I've been here since, well, not new because everyone's coming to Richmond, but I've been here since 2014. That's typically not something that people hear about and think about when they hear about Collegiate.
Yeah, Collegiate is, over 100 years old, and it has a long history, a lot of traditions, and I think the initiative really came from nothing new that was happening at Collegiate. A lot of the work that our institute does do has been happening for a long time, but it was never really formalized under one program. So, the work that we do in creating citizens, the work that we do in helping them be engaged in their community was all happening. It just wasn't formalized. So this institute is not new. The work we do is not new. It's just more visible.
Okay, and now you're taking kids from across. So we're in the middle of it now. It started in July, correct?
Yes. So the Cochrane Summer Economic Institute is actually going into its 42nd year. So that's why I was saying the work that we have done is not new to Richmond.
You've been doing it for a while.
We've been doing it for a while. It has had different iterations. About 6 years ago, prior to my coming to Collegiate, I came in 2015. Although I'm a Virginia native, I had been gone for a while. I returned. And when I came in 2015, we started doing group projects because we felt like it was more relevant to the type of work being done in the world, in the business world. And that work led us to doing design thinking challenges with companies. So what we do is we put together a diverse group of students from schools from all over. We even have boarding school students who will attend. You just have to be a resident of Richmond area. And it doesn't even have to be a certain part of Richmond. It just needs to be driving distance to Collegiate because you need to be get to Collegiate in order to participate.
And what is, so the idea of what that teaches and what's the students get out of it?
The students get experience collaborating with their peers to solve a problem. And they work on a real problem. So sometimes students feel like the work they're doing in school may not be relevant. Like this is, a lot of our work very much is ingrained and engrossed in solving real problems. And that is done in partnership with companies who give us real challenges for their businesses.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Trina, and she's from the Collegiate School. You're very stylish, I just want to say. You have a bracelet on. Please explain the bracelet.
Yes, I have at Collegiate School. We are actually fortunate to be in person with our students. And every morning, everyone is scanned through a temperature check, and we all put bracelets on that says, today mine says Tuesday, COVID-19 pre-screened, which means I passed the screening test in order to be on our facilities and in our grounds. And you have to go through the pre-screening process to enter the campus.
Okay, so we get people in all the time here. I say to people, we get the best and the brightest. But you're here and you have your hands on, your finger is right on the pulse of young folks. What's happening out there? How are the young people doing? What's their thought process of where we are right now?
I think, I primarily in this program work with current high school juniors, and they participate in the Cochrane Summer Economics Institute in the summer before their senior year. And, the focus of our program really is on the city of Richmond and how can we work in our local community to be good citizens. We use a framework that has the students look at the impact of local decisions and global decisions on our society and on our ecological environment, our natural habitat. So I think what I've garnered from students who come through our program is they really love Richmond, and they really want to understand it in a new and different way, and they want to know how they can give back and be a better contributing citizen, and I think the program opens their ideas to ways they can do that.
The Institute, how big of a class is that?
Well, we have anywhere from 24 to 30 students participate each year.
And it's funny because a lot of these students normally wouldn't meet each other.
A lot of them would not. And I have, it's really interesting. I said I came to Collegiate in the fall of, really the summer of 2015. And 16, I'm sorry, the summer 2016. And I have since heard from several alums of the CSEI program who aren't necessarily alums of Collegiate about meaningful connections they made through the program and lifelong friendships. And some have influenced their corporate and their college decision making. So there's been some real success stories out of the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to speak with Trina, you can give us a call at 804-778-8888. As far as the students that are out there, so Collegiate was one of the few schools that are back in person. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about the struggles to make that happen from the the administrative side. I can just imagine it was.
I have to give huge props to everyone in our community, from the administrative team to the board to the parent community to the students who were patient and listened to professionals and scientists, and you name it, they did it. We are not unaware of our good fortune. We do have a lot of space. We have physical building space that we've converted in for different uses. Like our cafeteria is closed. We have no food service this year. So all of our food serving locations are classrooms. We also have a lot of outdoor space. A lot of that is converted into classrooms. And I'm actually working with the third grade right now, looking at the cost of COVID to our community for part of their economic understanding of communities. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of commitment, and I'm beyond impressed, and I am grateful, very grateful.
When you look at what's happening in the world today, what do the students think that could be better? Like when I always ask people when they come in, what gives you hope? So now, you're in with the young folks, and young people are traditionally ones who believe in things. What gives you hope and energy?
I love when the students work hard to problem solve, and we encourage them to listen to human stories and really the story of the planet. Like, what is our community telling us? And they learn to listen, and they learn to ask good questions, and then they share their ideas with us. And I love when they realize that our community listens to their voices, and that they have important ideas and they have important thoughts, and that their multiple perspectives are valued. Because one of the goals of this program is to get lots of different people in the room so that everyone's voice can be heard and that every life experience is valued.
Okay, so to get into the Institute, you guys have been open since July, since the summer.
So I'm always at Collegiate. I just, the work that I do changes seasonally. The application for the summer program opened last Monday. So the application is open October 12th through November 30th.
Okay, what's that process?
The students apply. It's not an unreasonable application. I feel like it's some multiple choice questions. Some like, what kind of industries are you interested in? What kind of interest do you have? And then there's 5 short essay questions. And from that application, we select a certain number of students to be interviewed. And then they come, this year we will see how it goes, but I'm assuming that it will likely be a Zoom interview given the current status of our community. But I think the interviews are in January. And we will likely do Zoom interviews of teams of students where they have to collaborate with each other. And then based on those interviews, we put together teams of students to work together to solve a problem for a company in July.
And what have you seen has been like an area that the kids really were enthused about? And the other ones, you kind of had to say, hey, folks, let's take a look at this one.
Well, one thing that I would love for people to know is you don't have to understand economics and entrepreneurship to apply. So one thing that I see the students' eyes light up about is when some of the basic foundational information about economics, which sounds like a mouthful and a very difficult concept, when you break it down into pieces and you give it a real world story, they really readily understand the concepts. So I love watching them say, oh, this is actually really interesting. This is fun. I'm intrigued. How does this all work? And then they see the power of entrepreneurial thinking, and we teach them a process called design thinking that is kind of a step-by-step way to solve problems. And it is an iterative process, so they learn how to, maybe this, we were talking earlier about no is not a four-letter word.
Shout out to Mark Smith for that nugget of knowledge. No is not a four-letter word.
Right. Mark works with me in this program. And, the students realize that there is no one answer. That's not school. Schools, you turn in your paper, you see if you got the right answer. And I think a lot of schools are moving away from that for creative thinking and, some critical thinking skills. And that's very much what we use and value in the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trina Clemans is here with us. As I say, we do get the best and the brightest all across the board from all areas. You can give us a call at 804-778-8888. Al is giving me a good my number again. So on the mic with Mike, we're here daily with you from 1 to 3 on WJFN Radio. With that being said, we have to go away and pay some bills. As I said, my grandkids do need stuff, and my wife had instructed me that I needed to say that. So thanks. We'll talk to you in just a little bit.
Are you experiencing difficulties with paying your mortgage or bringing your mortgage current? If so, we can help. Give Neighborhood Home and Assistance a call at 1-800-441-6872 or text 757-951-3048 for an immediate response. We have over 10 years of mortgage experience working with some of the largest mortgage corporations in America. For more information, visit neighborhoodhomeassistance.com to schedule your free over-the-phone consultation. Remember, time is one thing we can't get back, and your home is your investment. Act fast.
Hi, my name is Daquan Woodbury, also known as Chef PQ. The restaurant industry is going through a hard time right now. With COVID-19, a lot of things are going on. Restaurants are shutting down. They might have to even close their doors for good. In the past few months, we've seen how life can change dramatically in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, I've created a system, a proven system, that allows restaurants to stay successful in this new way of life. As the owner of RVA Cafe, I would love to help you through these challenging times. Go to redindigofood.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi, Chef Michelle here of Ma Michelle's Cafe, home of the Soul Rolls, located at 10811 Whole Street Road. Give us a call at 804-912-1644 or order online at mamichelle's.com. Ask about our off-site catering options as well as our online ordering through Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Follow us on all social media at Ma Michelle's Cafe. That's Ma Michelle's, Soul south of the James. Mention Mike on the mic and get a free dessert on us. Special rules apply.
Hi everyone, it's Pavi Leitner, the CEO and founder of FinLit and your family's certified financial educator, dedicated to the financial success of you and your family. Are you not sure where to start with your finances, or are you looking to sign your middle schooler up for our virtual camp? Book us at www.finlitva.com. That is www.finlitva.com. FinLit is creating a money-conscious community.
On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
Welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It's Mike. We're rolling with Trina right now. She's with the Collegiate School and this crazy, outstanding program. It's a CSEI 2021, teaching collaboration and life skills and business skills to high schoolers. So you've done a lot of things.
Yes.
So we had Aaron Fry from Culture Works in, and I see dances in your background. What makes Richmond such a great place from a performing creator standpoint? And you lived a lot of creative places.
I have. I've lived in a lot of cities and a lot of places, and you know, and I'm a Virginia native. I grew up in rural Virginia. I'm a University of Virginia graduate, so I have roots in Virginia, but was gone for 20 plus years. And our family values the kind of ingenuity and scrappiness of Virginia, and just, you know, the ideas that come out of the people here have been amazing. Richmond, the last time I lived in Richmond, it looked nothing like it does now. It has been wonderful to return here and see all the growth and all the new and innovative ideas that have come out of this town. It's phenomenal.
So now we're going back to the Institute. You work with a lot of excellent partners. Let's give a shout out to some of the folks who really make things happen. I know you had said Mark Smith, and when Mark was here, he had given us some nuggets of knowledge. Who else partners with you?
This summer in particular, I was really grateful for our partnerships who, everybody turned on a dime with us. We had to really reinvent ourselves and go virtual. We had Rashida Creighton join us from the Jackson Ward Collective and share her story. Impact Makers.
Okay, Michael. Okay.
The Richmond Squirrels, Dominion Energy, and Mark were all of our challenge, our design challenge sponsors for the students. Each of those companies gave the students a challenge to solve. And I told all of them I was really flying by the seat of my pants, and we modeled it for the students, and we all pulled together and made a wonderful thing happen. All online. We never physically saw any of the students. We met every day for 3 hours on Zoom.
Wow.
Yeah, and they worked in partnership on Zoom. None of the students ever met each other this summer. We all did it virtually.
That's pretty. So I went to a Leadership York, and you know, I think about that process where you get together with people you didn't know, and it was for leadership ideas. I wonder how this version of the Institute is going to be different, done by Zoom.
Yeah, we learned a lot, and I think that's true at Collegiate just in general. Like we've had to change and adapt, and some of it has been painful, and some of it has been just a wonderful learning experience. I have loved welcoming people I know from around the world into my classroom that I would not have otherwise thought to do. I have loved the ability to, whereas in past years our students are on site with companies, and I would drive down to meet each of them, and I could only visit like 2 or 3 groups at a time. I can go visit all of them every day on Zoom. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of ways we can do work and collaborate better, faster. And then I will very much enjoy being back in person. I think that's so very important, but it is nice to have an alternative.
How can folks find out information about the Institute?
Everything is on our website, and it's PALEDFoundation.org. And PAL is POWELL, PALEDFoundation.org.
And what exactly is the PAL Ed Foundation again?
It is part of the Powell Institute for Responsible Citizenship. It is a foundation that supports the Cochrane Summer Economic Institute. Companies make donations to the Powell Foundation in support of community work around economic literacy and entrepreneurship. that is independent of donating to collegiate.
Is that local here or is that nationwide?
The Powell Foundation is local.
It's local.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd never heard of.
Yeah, it's very small. It's really designed to support the work of the Cochrane Summer Economic Institute.
Let me ask you this as far as collegiate goes. People think of collegiate as rich and being above the rest of Richmond when it comes to education and all that. How does collegiate combat that? Because I know you guys are doing a ton of things in the community and reaching out.
Yeah.
What's that effort look like?
Yeah, our admissions office is fantastic, and I would encourage anyone who's curious about our school and our programs to reach out to our admissions office. There's financial and support. There's all kinds of ways that if you are the right fit for our school, and meaning that you are curious about the work that we do and have our values are posted online, our mission is posted online. If you align with all of that type of work, diversity and inclusion work, love of learning, being a good citizen, all of that, if that is something that is interesting to you, definitely reach out to our admissions office. We are a value-driven, mission-driven organization.
Okay, so the application season is open now.
Mm-hmm.
When it's closed, what happens then?
The students, they will all hear from me. I'm a big believer in that. There's no silence. You don't hit submit and never hear anything. But we love to include as many as we can in our interview process, where they problem solve in a very quick case study with other peers, and they present their findings to a rotating group of faculty and staff. And then from that, we pick a diverse group of students to work with us over the month of July. And the program in July is designed to run from 8:30 to 2 o'clock so that students who do need to have paid jobs in the summer can do an evening job. There is no work outside of the program. There's no evening reading. There's no papers to be written. We purposely keep our work to 8:30 to 2, and so students can actually work and support their summer work.
Trina Clemans here from the Leadership Institute. Once again, let people know how they can find you.
Yep, the PowellEdFoundation.org, and it's POWELLED Foundation.org.
Now that you're here, you're a friend of the program. If you need to get information out, please let us know. I really think it's good when you're exposing kids who may not have the resources in other places that the collegiate school does.
Yes.
And they may not know those resources exist.
Yes.
And you never know what coming to something like that, it could change their life.
It has, and we've had students who that has been the case for. And so I really encourage everyone, if you're even just curious, go check it out. There's lots of pictures. There's a picture gallery on the website. So if you're curious about the students who've been there in the past and kind of the work that they do, you can look at the pictures.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank Trina Clemans for coming in. The time is 2:29. On the Mic with Mike, we are here daily with you from 1 to 3. Next up, after the break, we got the GM of the #1 TV station in the market. I tell you, folks, we get the best and the brightest here, and it goes all across the board. One day, who knows what we're talking to? We have tarot card readers, we have economists, we have business owners, but it's all designed to show you how business can help Richmond be a better place. We will talk to you on the other side. Thank you.
There's a news star in Virginia, thevirginiastar.com. Finally, there's a newspaper in Virginia that delivers the unfiltered truth on politics and information you need to know.
I love it. It's about time.
Man, it's great. I read it every morning.
Thevirginiastar.com. Unbiased. No slant, just facts. Thevirginiastar.com. It's not the mainstream media, it's the truth stream media. So if you're tired of fake news, get real news now. Thevirginiastar.com.
Attention, Virginia Patriots. Do you want to help save America this November? Join our team. American Majority Action is a national conservative organization that mobilizes citizens to get involved in the political process. We are looking for patriots to join our paid team of door-to-door and phone canvassers now through November 3rd. Save Virginia, save America. It's now or never. Email us at winvirginia2020@gmail.com or text to 571-439-2327.
Happy Tuesday, I'm Kiara Johnson with your WJFN 100.5 FM weather report brought to you by Dominion Energy. Richmond, areas of patchy fog early, some clouds this morning will give way to generally sunny skies for the afternoon, high 78. For your evening, partly cloudy skies early will give way to cloudy skies late, areas of patchy fog developing, low around 60. Charlottesville, areas of patchy fog early, some clouds this morning will give way to generally sunny skies for the afternoon, high 78. For your tonight, partly cloudy skies, low near 50. Fredericksburg, areas of patchy fog early, partly cloudy skies in your afternoon, high 77. For your tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 56. This has been your weather report. Please visit DominionEnergy.com.
Folks, this is the most important election of our time. America itself is on the ballot. The police are on the ballot as radicals push to defund law enforcement while doing nothing to deter the looting and violence tearing apart our nation's cities. The fact is, our safety is on the ballot too, and our way of life. That's why I'm urging you to join an effort sponsored by the Job Creators Network. They're working with the biggest conservative host in America, like me. This election is about one thing: turnout. The left has their get out the vote machine now. We need ours. That's why the single most important thing you can do to save our country is go to keepamericaamerica.com. That's keepamericaamerica.com and become a volunteer in the biggest get out the vote effort in history. You'll be given tasks that can make a difference in November. Do a little, do a lot, but please do your part. Go to keepamericaamerica.com now. That's keepamericaamerica.com.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I'm Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. There are primarily 4 ways to fund your business. One way is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding raises funds from many people. Crowdfunders aren't technically investors because they don't receive a shared ownership in the business. Crowdfunding is popular because it's a very low risk for business owners. Crowdfunding platforms are different. Read the fine print and understand all the obligations. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Are you tired of dating online? Bloom Matchmaking offers a safe and effective alternative. Every match is vetted and background checked. Bloom Matchmaking offers a personalized experience just for you. Check us out at bloommatchmaking.com or give us a call at 804-205-5063. Let Bloom take the stress out of dating. Mention On the Mic with Mike and receive 20% off. That number again is 804-205-5063. Bloom Matchmaking, where love grows.
Dessert Diva RVA. Specialty boutique with specialty products, providing custom experiences. Our dessert boutique is open on the weekends. Every dessert made from scratch. We also offer date nights and event decor. Dessert Diva RVA, the official home of Party in a Box.
Hi, my name is Daquan Woodbury, also known as Chef PQ. The restaurant industry is going through a hard time right now. With COVID-19, a lot of things are going on. Restaurants are shutting down. They might have to even close their doors for good. In the past few months, we've seen how life can change dramatically in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, I've created a system, a proven system, that allows restaurants to stay successful in this new way of life. As the owner of RVA Cafe, I would love to help you through these challenging times. Go to redindigofood.com for more information.
Business show in RVA. On the mic with Mike in RVA.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier daily enterprise show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with me. This is the place where the game changers come. With me right now, I got the big dog in the house. We got Kim Grinnage, the GM and VP of NBC12, the #1 station in the market. Kim, welcome to the program.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me here.
Okay, so now we got to talk a little bit about what's going on new and exciting over at 12. We're going to talk about the understanding the ins and outs of TV. Give people a little bit about your background first.
Well, the one thing I can say is that I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Of course, you were going to drop that one.
They got to go.
He was going to go with he's from Brooklyn.
Got to go there first. Giants fan, Knicks fan. You know, 2 losing teams, but
wow, that is tough.
I still try. But yeah, I mean, long time ago, St. John's University, communications graduate. I've been television broadcasting all my life. Went to NBC12 or NBC in New York. CBS in New York was in affiliate relations. But 30 years ago, actually August 15th makes 30 years. For me and my family being in Richmond, and came here as an account executive. Thought I'd be here 5 years, and
now you've been running the place for how long? You've been in the
2011.
Okay, so when people always think that news people run TV stations, explain that to folks.
Well, it depends. When you say run, do you mean as a GM of the station or just run stations?
As a GM of the station.
It depends. Your background can come from many different places. I would say that years ago you probably had more general managers who came up through news. Now you probably see more general managers come up through sales, just because of the impact that sales has to have on the business. But I would say that if somebody is coming up through sales on their way up the road, they definitely need to understand the technical aspect and the news aspect of the business.
So over your tenure at 12, you've seen a change through a number of organizations that own the station. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about the progression and how it seems and how it feels now with Gray owning the station.
That's a good question. When I got here in 1990, Jefferson Pilot was our owner. We owned radio and TV stations. Then we were bought by Lincoln Financial. Then Raycom Media, a private company, purchased us. And those were good years because when we went to them, it was the first time that we were going to a pure play broadcaster who was of the size of Raycom. And a couple of years ago, Raycom decided that they wanted to buy Gray Television. And then Gray Television turned around, which was a smaller company, and said, you know what, we're a public company. I think we're going to buy you. And that's how in 2019 we became Gray Television. And I will say I've loved all of the TV stations that or TV companies that owned us, but I really love Gray the most.
What makes Gray stand out from the others?
Well, I'll tell you, their approach is they don't really feel the need for having a lot of top line and heavy management on the top of the company. So when I want to get an answer to something, I haven't written a PowerPoint since 2019. I pick up the phone, I call Matt J. Quint, I say, Matt, this is what we're looking for. He may ask for a little bit of data, and I would say that all decisions on big decisions are made within 5 days. That has never happened in all the time that I've been at the station before. And for the first time, I really feel that I truly am running the station and not having to be nitpicked about every decision. I mean, they hire us as CEOs to run the station. And if you're not doing the job, I think that they'll take care of that in the way that we take care of all things when people aren't performing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice you're listening to is Kim Grinnage, the VP GM of NBC12, the leader in news in the industry, and right here in Richmond, Virginia, been there for 30 years. Can you give our listeners an idea of how news is generated and delivered to them? So we talk about now that we're in a time of, fake news and those things. What does it take as far from a journalistic standpoint to get that story that's there, making sure it's vetted to get to the viewer?
That's a very good question because a lot of times people will talk about fake news, and I have to always make sure I clarify to people what is exactly fake news.
I question that too. Is that news you don't agree with?
Well, it depends on the person. Fake news to me is news that is not true. I mean, everybody is a journalist now. If they have a phone and a microphone, or if they can just get on social media and they produce news. And if you have an opinion, that's an opinion. But if you put something out that is false, and a lot of fake news doesn't even come from the United States, especially on social media, that means it hasn't really been vetted. When we do local news, people have to distinguish between what we do as local news broadcasters versus MSNBC, CNN, and Fox and opinion news stations. People get things confused in terms of reporting news. We're here to report on local news. So to give you an example how that happens, we have a morning meeting every single day. All of the producers, the journalists, the photos, they get together and we review stories we did yesterday. What do we want to cover that day? And the reporters go out with their assignments and they go and vet those stories. If we don't have sourcing from at least 2 or 3 people on a particular story, it's not going to hit the air. And if there's really something that's controversial, that's when Frank Jones, our news director, or J.W. Barnes, our assistant news director, will have a chat about something as to whether or not it should or shouldn't be on. But pretty much independently, they have enough experience to make those decisions. But the real decisions have to be made by those reporters and producers who are in the field. But you have to have standards and protocols so that you don't have to police that every day.
It's 2:41. We're here with Kim Grinnage of NBC12. Can you talk a little bit about the media standing in the community? Now, when the pandemic hit, the major TV stations are all competing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys came together as a collective to talk about you're there to serve the community. Talk a little bit about what a local TV station means to the community when we're looking and since this is a business show, to talk about when you make the decision to scrap programming,
Mm-hmm.
what that does to advertising for the good of the community.
And that's a very good point, because I know that sometimes we will get calls from viewers who say, why are you taking another news press conference? Why do you have the governor on giving an update on what's going on in the region? Why are you taking the mayor giving another update, or the police chief giving another update? Every time we do that, that to me is a community service, and those decisions are made by me and the news director. When that happens, I'm sure my general sales manager says,
It's freaking out.
Kim, we're losing money. And the way I look at it is that our number one thing, and I mean this sincerely, our customer is the viewer. And now it's not just the viewer, but it's also those people who go online. And if we can't give them the information that keeps them informed, and especially in the time of a storm, pending storm or tornado watch, we have to really think about keeping people safe first. If we take care of that, then people will come and view us when it's most important, and that's all of those other times. And we'll handle those phone calls and emails that come in. Any emails that I get, I answer them personally. I tell anybody who, if we get a phone call or email, has to be answered. And we explain to the viewers that even though, let's say during the tornado watch, it's nothing happening on the south side, but there are a lot of people who may live on other parts of central Virginia that are in immediate harm. And you might know some of those people. But the next time that tornado watch comes, it could be down your street. So you just have to explain the business to them. And most people are reasonable. Those interruptions aren't happening all the time. But you just have to be honest with people. But our number one decision will be about how do we serve the customer, not about the advertising dollar.
Can you talk a little bit about the impact of Call 12 and the seniors and the people who come in and man the phones?
Yeah, that's been one of the things that's been a little bit of a downside, is that I haven't seen my Call 12 volunteers since the beginning of April.
And they're loyal.
And they're loyal. And most of them are 50 years or older. So we have strict social distancing in the building. Out of 110 people who normally come into the building, we have no more than 45 that come in at any given time. We did that to make sure that we ran people on shifts. We had the technology to make sure that we could, in 1 week, we went to people working virtually from home, those that could, including some on-air people. We have good separation in the building. You get up from your desk, you got to put a mask on. We practice social distancing. And so all those things have kept people safe, and we'll do that until we feel that it's safe to have more people come back. But with technology, people have been able to do what they could do very well. Gray television has been great. We haven't had a single layoff, not a single furlough, and no one's job is in jeopardy because thankfully, the content has been good from the news department, and the sales department and marketing have made sure that they've done their jobs as well. And obviously, technology department making sure they keep us on the air.
So over the course of time, TV stations have evolved. Now, the OTT is talk a little bit about and let people know what that means to them for getting content.
That's a good question because, you have some people who are cutting the cord. So you have some people who are no longer doing cable, no longer doing satellite. So we obviously have to preserve people doing broadcast. But now people want what you call OTT, over the top. They want to be able to get their news and information through streaming. So our idea is that whatever device that you have in your hand or at home, we want to be able to reach you on that device. And so that means investment in technology and more training. And we just launched our new OTT service. It's been on for a while, but now we have a news service, 12 News Now. And so eventually, 24 hours a day at any time, you'll be able to go on streaming and be able to get the latest update on anything that's going on in the market. But we're really trying to concentrate on what's going on locally. But certainly there's enough going on.
Can you give our listeners an understanding of the difference between broadcast TV, cable, and dish, and those type of the parts that broadcast TV plays?
That's a good question. So if you're receiving our television signal through an antenna, then we're talking about broadcast TV. If you're receiving us through your satellite or cable, then you're receiving it after we send the signal to one of those stations, one of those devices, you're receiving it through one of those companies, whether it's Dish or whether it's Verizon or Fios or Infinity. That's going to be the alternate services. But a lot of people are getting rid of their cable services. A lot is relative, but the number each year goes down, and more people are taking us over the air broadcasting or through streaming. And we just feel that people just have to choose which way they want to receive us. And I think the more ways that people can get us, the more relevant that we'll be. And obviously this is a business, so that gives our advertisers alternate ways in which we can receive people. So whether it's online or on air, on streaming, we reach people in any way that we can.
Every so often you see the notice that there's a conflict between the station and the satellite or dish provider or whatever. Mm-hmm. Explain to people what that means and why you're saying, hey, call them and say, come bring us back again.
Yeah. And a lot of times they say, well, call Kim Grinnage and tell them to bring back my program.
And that's why you're standing there doing the commentary at the end, explaining why their show wasn't on.
Yeah. What it is that there's a business agreement between TV stations and satellite companies. And just like they pay ESPN and other companies, the cable companies pay them for their content. For years, they never paid TV stations for their content. So several years ago, we sat down and we said, look, we provide better than 90% of your total viewing audience. That's a fact, that local free over-the-air broadcast stations are better than 90% of the amount of time people spend on those cable channels and satellite services. So we said we just want to have a fee per household. And so that's negotiated between the two stations. And then each year, or if it's a 2-year agreement, when you get to the end of that agreement, someone says, hey, we need to either be a little bit lower. Cable says, I think we'd like to pay a little bit less. And so sometimes there's a negotiation and we have an interruption, and other times we don't. But I'll tell you, with Gray, we've had less interruptions than with any other company that's owned us. You haven't heard us and you haven't seen me on TV asking people to call their cable company to be fair. So there's always a way to negotiate something because it's good business for both of us.
Can you explain to the listeners about the difference between advertising in broadcast and advertising cable-wise? The model of cable, you're paying for it up front, broadcast TV. Explain to our listeners, because people find that fascinating.
Now, when you say paying up front,
so you're paying to Verizon or Xfinity, you're paying a monthly fee, whereas opposed to broadcast TV, you just turn it on and it's there.
Oh, you mean in terms of what the consumer pays?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like to speak for the cable companies, but we're free and over the air. So when you're receiving our signal through your cable company, the cable provider is charging you for being the next end of bringing it to you, as well as charging you for all of the other services that they bring you. So that really started years ago for people who could not receive a broadcast signal in a rural area or a place that was hard to receive. And then it really just expanded over the years. But now it's going the other way. People are now discovering that they can get us over the air because equipment and signals are better. And now that people can get us on their laptop or their phone and who knows what other device, you're seeing that people are, as long as we can provide an alternative, that's what they're turning to, because people want to lower their bills.
What's been the biggest, as you come through the industry over these years, what's been the biggest change in the industry?
That's a good question.
Is it the speed of getting the information to the end user or the technical side?
I think it's been technology, and then at the same time, what is expected from a television station from the viewer. I think that more and more we have to take people behind the scenes and let them know exactly how we put a show together. Distinguishing for people that we are not NBC, the network, so that when the network interrupts or they don't like an interview that Savannah Guthrie does with the President of the United States, that they tell us that they don't want to watch us because they don't understand how we allow that. We're a network affiliate. We're not owned by NBC. So today, I think that people want to see more of a behind-the-scenes view of exactly what goes on at the TV station. And I think the biggest change is we have a bigger responsibility now to be more and more local as people have more access to different forms of entertainment and news.
There was a time, so I'm from Philadelphia, and I left, and CBS was 10, and NBC was 3.
Yep.
I go away, and I come back, and they switched. And it just blew my mind, because like you're saying, you are Savannah Guthrie and Hoda, and you're like, well, that's part of the day. You're also the GM of CW.
Right.
Explain to folks what CW and Bounce are and how you become part of how that enters into the mix as well.
Okay. And answer your first question about what happened in Philadelphia. So you have stations that are wholly owned by a company, not by the networks. And let's just say if NBC and us have a dispute and we decide that we don't want to be an NBC affiliate anymore, and the CBS network says, well, you know what, you're a really good news station and you do good local programming, and your affiliation agreement is over, we're not happy with the station we're with, so we're going to switch affiliations. And so that's what used to happen a lot in the old days. In the probably the last 10 years, you don't see as many affiliation switches. Usually when you see it, it's when someone buys multiple stations in a market and then you have a conflict of ownership. Then sometimes you see a little parlaying where they'll switch.
Is that why you see like people call NBC12 different things, like depending on their age?
Yeah, well, you mean how long they've been in the market?
Yes.
Like people will call us WWBT.
Right.
And NBC12 is how we market ourselves. And some people say, you know, you have to be careful how much you associate yourself with the network, not to become local. But as long as we say anything 12, people know that it's local. And that's where we are. But really, it's all about the philosophy of the stations. Gray has always been the kind of company, and so is Raycom, that we want to be associated with as many networks as possible. So for Bounce, because we want to reach the African American community, you know, we associate ourselves with Bounce. The CW reaching a little younger audience, so we wanted to be an affiliate of the CW. And when we went to digital TV, as you know, Mike, because you're in the business, digital allowed us to have multiple channels. So instead of us just having one or two channels, we were able to have multiple channels. And we'll continue to expand that. We have MeTV, Laugh TV. You know, actually right now we have about 6 networks that are on right now.
And what do people say in the market without satellite or cable? Can you get, what, 17 channels or so?
Let's see, if you add them all up, probably more like 20 some odd channels.
Okay.
And you know, and that's a good thing. You talked in the beginning about how the stations came together during COVID. And in this market, that was probably the first time that all of the GMs in the market collectively said, I think we need to make a statement to the market that, you know, we're going to be here for them, because we knew we were going to have to program differently, do our news a little bit differently, and so we all did a promotional spot.
Those spots were pretty cool.
Thank you. And
those spots were cool.
We all got together, and even though we can't talk because we can't collude, we're members of the association, the Virginia Association of Broadcasters. So we just decided that we wanted to do something, you know, for the common good, and that was a really big deal. That went national. That people said, "Wow, to see stations cooperate and doing one promotion with all of our logos."
The shot when they're going across the bridge.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was good. Let people know how if they want internships, how they can make that happen.
That's a good question. If you are rising junior or senior in college, go go through the Virginia Association of Broadcasting. You just have to put your application in. This year is going to be a little bit tricky because of COVID. I would still tell people to apply. And obviously you're streaming, so if whatever state you're in, you probably have a state association. So you should apply that way. But the other way is, somebody wants to be an intern, they need to be aggressive. Call the news director at the station or call the general manager of the station or look it up online and just send them an email and tell them what you're interested in. Sometimes when we don't have internships, certainly, I always have 15 minutes to explain to somebody what the business is about and give them some shortcuts if they're really interested in how to be successful in this business. So I call it mentoring on the go. I've been doing that all my life because a lot of people mentored for me. That's why I'm in this business.
All righty. We'd like to thank Kim Grinnage. Kim, how can people find you again?
They can email me anytime at kgrinnage@NBC12.com. They can find me on Facebook, and they can also call me directly if they want. They can call 804-230-1212. And just ask for Kim. I'm the only male Kim in the building.
And that's Kim with a Y.
That's Kim with a Y.
Not Kim with an I. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank Kim for coming in. Tune in to NBC 12. They are the best in the business. CW and Bounce as well. With that being said, we got to go away, and we'll be back shortly.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I'm Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. There are primarily 4 ways to fund your business. One way is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding raises funds from many people. Crowdfunders aren't technically investors because they don't receive a shared ownership in the business. Crowdfunding is popular because it's a very low risk for business owners. Crowdfunding platforms are different. Read the fine print and understand all the obligations. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Does your home need a makeover? If so, refresh with quality with LA Labor and Painting, LLC. They make your home sparkle and be the envy of the community. They are masters at interior and exterior painting, drywall. They clean decks. They landscape and remove items you wish were gone. The bottom line is, they refresh with quality, provide professional service, and follow all guidelines regarding COVID-19. Call today to make your home sparkle. You can reach LA Labor by calling 804-972-8014. Call today for the On the Mic with Mike discount. When you mention the program, you'll receive 20% off of the beautification of your most prized possession. Call LA Labor and Painting today at 804-972-8014.
Thanks for tuning in to a great show. I'd like to thank Kim Grinnage for coming in. Hey, folks, before we get out of here, we got to give a shout-out to our friends out at Charles Kitchen out on the West End, 9127 West Broad Street. Do yourself a favor, curry chicken. They got vegan platters. They got vegetarian. They got chicken. They got seafood. Do yourself a favor and get out there and tell Chef Charles that I sent you. The number is 270-6340. On the Mic with Mike. We'll be back tomorrow with SBA Wednesday. And with that being said, let's take care of each other. To my wife, baby, as soon as it's over, I'm on the way home. Thanks to our guests. Thank you for listening. And we're out.
WJFN Goochland, WJFN Chester.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Americans have lost trust in the people and institutions informing them about COVID-19, according to a new poll from the Associated Press, NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, and USA Facts. National correspondent Mike Hempen.